Have you ever felt manipulated, exploited, or abused by a narcissist? A person who believes they are superior, entitled, and always right, regardless of the harm they cause. A person who never apologizes, never changes, and never cares. If you have, you may have wondered how to retaliate against them, how to inflict upon them the suffering they have caused you, how to torment them with your words, actions, or silence. But what if I told you there is a better way, a way that does not involve stooping to their level, playing their games, or giving them what they want? A way that truly empowers you, liberates you, and heals you. That way is Stoicism. Stoicism is an ancient philosophy that teaches wisdom, courage, justice, and self-control. It enables you to focus on what you can control and release what you cannot. It equips you to handle challenging emotions, situations, and individuals without compromising your peace of mind. In this video, I will demonstrate 4 ways to apply Stoicism in tormenting the narcissist. These methods are not cruel or vindictive, but rather effective and ethical. They will not only make the narcissist miserable, but also enhance your happiness, strength, and wisdom. Are you prepared to discover how to torture the narcissist using Stoicism? Then, continue watching. Before we explore the 4 methods of tormenting the narcissist with Stoicism, let's first understand what narcissism is and how it affects relationships. Narcissism is a personality disorder characterized by a distorted sense of self-importance, a lack of empathy, and a need for excessive admiration and attention. Narcissists have an inflated ego, a sense of entitlement, and a tendency to exploit and manipulate others for their own benefit. They are often charming, charismatic, and confident, but also arrogant, selfish, and dishonest. Narcissists are not capable of having healthy and fulfilling relationships. They view others as either sources of admiration and validation or as threats and obstacles. They do not respect boundaries, feelings, or needs of others, and they do not take responsibility for their actions. Instead, they blame, criticize, and project their own faults onto others. They do not appreciate or reciprocate the love, care, and support they receive, but rather demand more while giving less. Being in a relationship with a narcissist can be very damaging and traumatic. You might feel like you're constantly walking on eggshells, trying to please them, avoid their wrath, or win their approval. You might lose your sense of self, your confidence, and your happiness. You might experience anxiety, depression, guilt, shame, anger, or resentment. You might feel isolated, trapped, or hopeless. If you are in a relationship with a narcissist or have been in the past, you are not alone. Many people have suffered from narcissistic abuse, and many have also recovered and healed. You're not crazy, weak, or worthless. You are not the problem. The problem is the narcissist and their disorder. Narcissists seek to control, manipulate, or harm us, often triggering negative emotions and reactions. Stoicism offers a shield against their influence, empowering us to assert ourselves with dignity, respect, and detachment from their drama. How can we leverage Stoicism to navigate interactions with narcissists? Let's delve into this in the upcoming section. Stay tuned. 1. Emotional strength. The first step to challenging the narcissist with Stoicism is to cultivate emotional strength. Emotional strength means staying calm, logical, and resilient in difficult times, provocations, and pressure. It's the opposite of emotional reactivity, which is the tendency to react impulsively, irrationally, and negatively to external triggers. Narcissists thrive on emotional reactions. They enjoy provoking, manipulating, and triggering us, feeding off our emotions. They use tactics like gaslighting, lying, guilt-tripping, blaming, shaming, criticizing, or insulting to undermine us, make us doubt ourselves, feel inferior, or defensive. They want us to lose our composure, self-assurance, and sanity. What if we deny them their desires? What if we don't react to their provocations, but respond with emotional strength? What if we don't let them affect our mood, judgment, or behavior, but maintain our peace, logic, and dignity? This would be agonizing for the narcissist because they would realize they have no control over us, can't manipulate us, and would be frustrated, angry, and insecure. They would lose their illusion of superiority, entitlement, and control, exposing them as weak, insecure, and pathetic individuals they truly are. How can we cultivate emotional strength? How can we avoid being emotionally reactive and instead become emotionally resilient? Here are some Stoic suggestions and strategies to assist us. Remember what you can control. Focus on your response. Instead of reacting impulsively, take a moment to pause and consider your response. Choose to respond with reason and calmness rather than being driven by emotion. Practice mindfulness. Stay present in the moment and observe your thoughts and emotions without judgment. This allows you to maintain clarity and perspective, making it easier to respond thoughtfully rather than reactively. Set boundaries. Establish clear boundaries with the narcissist to protect your emotional well-being. This may involve limiting contact, refusing to engage in manipulative tactics, and asserting your needs and boundaries assertively but calmly. Cultivate self-awareness. Reflect on your own emotions, triggers, and patterns of behavior. By understanding yourself better, you can better manage your reactions and choose more constructive responses. Seek support. Surround yourself with supportive friends, family, or a therapist who can offer perspective, validation, and encouragement. Having a strong support network can help you navigate challenging situations with greater resilience. Practice self-care. Prioritize activities that nourish your mind, body, and soul, such as exercise, relaxation techniques, hobbies, and spending time with loved ones. Taking care of yourself strengthens your emotional resilience and helps you better cope with stress and adversity. By incorporating these Stoic principles and strategies into your life, you can cultivate emotional strength and resilience in the face of narcissistic behavior, empowering yourself to maintain your peace, dignity, and sanity. 2. The power of perspective. The second way to challenge a narcissist using Stoicism is by harnessing the power of perspective. Perspective is the ability to view situations from various angles, viewpoints, and frames of reference. It's the opposite of narrow-mindedness, which entails seeing things solely from one's own perspective. Narcissists typically exhibit narrow-mindedness. They possess a fixed and rigid view of themselves, others, and the world. They perceive themselves as superior, perfect, and always right, while regarding others as inferior, flawed, and always wrong. They view the world as hostile, competitive, and unfair, where they must constantly fight for survival, dominance, and glory. However, what if we refuse to accept their perspective? What if we challenge, question, and alter it? What if we encourage them to see things differently? What if we see them as they truly are, rather than how they see themselves? What if we view ourselves as we truly are, instead of how they perceive us? What if we perceive the world as it truly is, rather than through their distorted lens? By offering alternative perspectives, we shake up their fixed beliefs. It's like opening a door to a new way of seeing things, one that's more honest and balanced. For a narcissist, this realization would be torturous. They would come to understand that their perspective isn't the only best or true one. They would recognize that their perspective is distorted, delusional, and dysfunctional. They would acknowledge that their perspective doesn't align with reality, and that reality doesn't conform to their perspective. They would grasp that their perspective is the source of their misery, and that changing it is the only way to end it. So, how can we apply the power of perspective? How can we adopt different viewpoints? Here are some Stoic techniques and tips to help us. Utilize the role reversal technique. This mental exercise allows us to empathize with others by imagining ourselves in their shoes, experiencing their emotions, thoughts, and motives. For example, when a narcissist hurts us, we can use this technique to understand their fear, insecurity, and pain. Employ the Socratic method. This dialectical approach helps us question assumptions and beliefs by asking a series of probing questions to reveal truth or uncover ignorance. For instance, when a narcissist claims superiority, we can challenge their assertions by asking for evidence and consequences. Embrace Stoic maxims. These succinct phrases encapsulate key Stoic teachings and can help us align our thoughts, judgments, and actions with reason, virtue, and nature. For example, when a narcissist tries to control us, we can remind ourselves that nothing external can harm us and that we can live according to nature. By employing these Stoic techniques, we can effectively challenge the perspectives of narcissists and cultivate a deeper understanding of ourselves and the world around us. 3. The art of indifference. The third method to torment a narcissist using Stoicism involves mastering the art of indifference. Indifference refers to the capacity to remain unaffected, unattached, and unmoved by things beyond our control that do not contribute to our happiness and well-being. It contrasts with attachment, which entails depending on, clinging to, and craving for things beyond our control that do not enhance our happiness and well-being. Narcissists tend to suffer from attachment. They become addicted to external factors like admiration, attention, validation, praise, power, status, or money, believing these are essential for their happiness and well-being. Consequently, they relentlessly pursue, demand, and expect these things, often at the expense of others, yet remain perpetually dissatisfied, ungrateful, and discontented. But what if we refuse to meet their desires and instead show them what they truly need? What if we refrain from feeding their addiction and instead starve it? What if we detach ourselves from them and the things they value rather than attaching ourselves to them? This approach would be tormenting for the narcissist because they would realize they're not receiving what they desire and they're not providing what we truly need. They would come to understand they aren't as important, valuable, or worthy as they believe, and they aren't contributing to our happiness, fulfillment, or completeness. So how can we master the art of indifference? How can we remain unaffected, unattached, and unmoved by things beyond our control that don't impact our happiness and well-being? Here are some Stoic tips and techniques to help. Utilize the Stoic categories of value to differentiate between what matters and what doesn't. Stoics categorize things into 3 groups: the good, the bad, and the indifferent. Focus on pursuing the good, avoiding the bad, and being indifferent to the indifferent. Apply the reserve clause to detach ourselves from the outcome. By mentally adding phrases like, "if nothing prevents me," or "if fate allows," to our intentions, we refrain from expecting or demanding a specific outcome, instead preparing for any possibility and measuring our success by our effort rather than the outcome itself. Practice negative visualization to appreciate what we have and curb cravings for what we lack. By imagining scenarios where we lose something we possess or gain something we lack, we realize how fortunate we are, how little we truly require, and how adaptable we can be, fostering gratitude, contentment, and happiness. By applying these Stoic principles, we can cultivate indifference towards external circumstances and focus on nurturing our inner peace and well-being. 4. The practice of acceptance. The fourth and final method to challenge a narcissist using Stoicism revolves around practicing acceptance. Acceptance is the ability to embrace reality as it is, without resistance, denial, or complaint. It's the opposite of resistance, which involves rejecting reality and resisting or denying it. Narcissists often struggle with resistance. They deny reality and try to mold it to their will. They refuse to accept themselves, others, or the world as they are, instead attempting to change them or pretending they're different. They hide their flaws, mistakes, and failures, blaming them on others. They also distort, ignore, or reject the truth, facts, or evidence. But what if we don't join them in their denial? What if we confront them with reality? What if we don't support their delusions but expose them? What if we don't resist reality but rather accept it? For a narcissist, this acceptance would be torture. They'd realize they're living in a fantasy, out of touch with reality. They'd understand they're not who they think they are or want to be. They'd acknowledge they're not living well and need to change. So, how can we practice acceptance? One way is through Stoic meditation, a mental exercise that helps us reflect on reality objectively and rationally. It involves setting aside time daily to examine ourselves, our actions, and experiences, comparing them with our ideals, goals, and values. We acknowledge both our successes and failures, preparing ourselves for the challenges ahead. Additionally, Stoic affirmations can reinforce our acceptance and help overcome resistance. These positive statements remind us of reality and how we can deal with it, fostering a positive and realistic attitude. They assist us in coping with life's challenges with wisdom, courage, justice, and self-control. Here are some of the affirmations from Stoicism. I accept reality as it is. I focus on what I can control and let go of what I can't. I do not resist, deny, or complain. Instead, I embrace, understand, and act. I do not let external things disturb my peace of mind. I keep it within my own power. I do not depend on external things for my happiness and well-being. Rather, I rely on my own virtue and wisdom. I do not fear, desire, or regret anything. I love and appreciate everything. For instance, when dealing with a narcissist, we can utilize these Stoic affirmations to reinforce our acceptance and overcome resistance. We might tell ourselves, I accept the narcissist as they are. I focus on my own thoughts, judgments, and actions and let go of theirs. I embrace, understand, and act instead of resisting, denying, or complaining. I maintain my peace of mind within my own control. I find happiness and well-being within myself, not dependent on the narcissist. I approach everything with love and appreciation, free from fear, desire, or regret. We can also practice Stoic exercises to strengthen our acceptance and resilience. These exercises involve practical activities like voluntary discomfort, self-denial, negative visualization, role-playing, journaling, and fasting. By engaging in these exercises, we expose ourselves to reality, test our reactions, train adaptability, overcome limitations, and live with wisdom, courage, justice, and self-control. In summary, Stoicism offers us powerful strategies to navigate interactions with narcissists, empowering us to not only cope, but also grow and thrive. It's not just a philosophy, but a way of life, a path to living well and wisely. So, Let's stay strong, stay stoic, and continue to learn and grow. If you found this helpful, please like, share, subscribe, and leave a comment. Your feedback is valuable. Thank you for watching, and remember to live well and live wisely.